excuse me.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry to bug you. I'm working on a documentary.
A documentary, so what's your documentary about?
It's about happiness.
You know, so I'm a pretty happy person, even though I got took me from my job this morning, got late. I'm actually down there, and there's a communication problem between the Spanish gentleman that I work for. So I said, okay, don't argue with him, just go with him, you know, payment Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Documentary, you want to know how a person's life will change? Let me tell you something.
Is it okay if
Yes, you're most certainly welcome. I'm no weird person either, okay? No person is weird, no. This Friday here, okay? This Friday, yesterday it passed. I had to walk away from my home up a canyon. I've been there since December. I got out of prison in August. I did 14 years on drugs, all kinds of crap, okay? Long story short, my daughter's in the lake. I go 2 weeks to see her. I've had some pretty good jobs here. They run background check. You know, 91, I was a staff officer in Cape Town when I got out of the Army. I did that 4 years there, came back, did my first wife and me dissolve the situation because seeing the atrocities that happen in Cape Town, people blow their cell phone when we bring it back, it's crazy, but what I dial into, you know, so I speak Swahili, Tanzania, Tuk, English, and then my own primary language. I grew up on the islands of South Carolina, it'd be Gullah, which is an old language that came from the slavery time, because my family's been in the islands of South Carolina between Charleston and Savannah since 1750 something. My family was, because my dad's Portuguese and my mom's French Canadian, so they got there on situations. But that's my home. I ride airborne. I got pictures of my telly here, you know, and I got stuck in Ogden instead of Salt Lake because of COVID. I think it was a blessing because I still had but I said my parole officers, you know, he's happy for me. I now live a good job. I lost my home. I lost my fish tank, everything. I've got about 9 racks and this is my home. And from December to come out the halfway house because I associate with no felons or you see what I do. I just stay to myself kind of thing. And maybe in my house there, 3 people had visited me would ask where do you live at? I live in Ogden. I don't want nobody to mess up my things that I have. And I bought a nice fish tank, a very unusual fish. It was a dwarf guppy. Fell in love with him. Nobody to send him to. So one friend of mine was able to get my corrals, my dishes, that kind of thing, store them, and my tools. So I went this guy 2 days. He picked me up, and I'm staying over this 32nd, that kind of thing, you feel me? That's okay. You know something, that's cool because
it's important.
I'm a real person, I you know, and our Heavenly Father let us go to a certain part, He always picks us up. That's why I look at it. I'm a Jehovah's Witness, and I preached for a long time in prison, and I did the things I was supposed to do. Like I said, I don't do drugs or anything like that. I don't drink alcohol. And I'm pretty much saying to myself, it's difficult for me to go in the stores. That's why I bump music. Difficult to go and you drop somebody out here and ask them to survive after 13 years and 7 months in prison on something that is easy to get into. The world is beautiful people, but the world's horrible because man fights against man. Nobody really gets along like they're supposed to, you know. And it is what it is. I mean, but for me personally, I have a religious meeting that I was at the park at 12. My brothers are up there. 2 of them have been in prison. One worked at the dog food plant with me. That's where I stacked my racks and moved out of the halfway house and into my apartment. And it's hard because there's a lot of apartments. And this isn't my town. I had funk up in this town. I've been shot 3 times out of a car to this town. But I got arrested on this. I was on a colostomy bag. I got shot twice. And then the one's still in me, in my leg, and the other one went into my organs. And I'm 59 years old. Like I said, my daughter, I'll show you a picture of her. She's a sweetheart. She holds it all together. You know, she's a sweetheart. And she's the one that helped me set my phone. This was difficult too because I had a flip phone. Thought it was the most dynamic phone you ever had. And the little cutie. So yeah.
And she lives close?
Yeah, she's down in West Valley. Here's my baby right there. It's my daughter.
Oh, she's adorable.
Called her Poochie. Her name. So I have no restrictions being on parole. My parole officer, he had me a couple of times. He came to my house twice in the driveway. Are you home? I work nights at the BDO for Mutual Pharmaceutical. They got the gun charge. They can't remember. I dial in with 122 hours out of 520 to get hired on full time. The plant manager, Steve Reed, and the guys were really upset that they felt as though deception went on, but I didn't know how to get on the computer that much. So Elwood helped me with the computer thing, and she was the deceptive individual trying to get me a position and wasn't honest. I was honest to her. It was not honest to get me the job that they wanted. And I said, I had my tools that I bought at that time, and it's the summertime. It's great out here. And I'm saying life is good. You know,
Life is good. All of that, and life is good.
And look at you and your husband come to me, and you're doing a documentary. I'm cool with that because I don't look at cartoons, I don't do sitcoms. And I do have a friend of mine that took my smoke glass tables, but I lost my sexual things that I couldn't house at him. But the blessings of it is in the 20th, he'll be back from his visit with his mom and dad in Oklahoma. And when I went up to the, because I have a lady friend that I work with, we go to Costco. I could go to Costco where I had to put my groceries, but I'm just standing in this halfway house down here. And it's a drug-infested area. So I go off in the field with railroad tracks and I stay away from people. That's what I do. It's not that I don't like people. I'm a people person, but it's difficult to acclimate yourself back in the community after that many years. And people can change. What's your name? My name's CW. It's William Reed. My name's CW. That's everybody calls me out.
I'm Kelly.
And Kelly, it's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Kelly, cheerful.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
we call it soaking morning. It's so soaking moon.
You're okay. It's all right.
Yeah. But I'm a different kind of guy. A lot of people can't dial me in and they think, you on drugs? Like the Truth Report officers, they want to do check-in once in a while. I went early because I had my resume from Job Report Services to dial in. Over the years, I owned a trucking company, those kind of things. That's what brought me to Utah. 88, I was in Texas. My lady that sold her franchise in Dayton, and I had 4 of the trucks that I owned. These are the things I put together with my Veterans Administration money that I saved. And then when my first wife and me dissolved our marriage, we had 4 daughters, and I just made sure that education was locked in. Samantha's education is locked in. That's one thing. I hate to say it was drug money. That's horrible, but it was what it was. But I made sure that after she was born, but we grew together. Her grandmother, she stays with. Her mom couldn't handle the difficulty that I put her through. She's at the Rampton now. She's severely committed with high doses of medication. You know, I'm sorry, but you know, I'm not saying she brought in the last trouble. We fell in love at a place called the Lions House in Salt Lake. So I was going to school there. Mental illness is hard too. A lot of people don't understand mental illness.
What was that?
Mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm transgenital, so conversations go 4 ways in my mind. I'll skip something, jump to something. But I always come back because it's weird because you see the things in the world, like I explained, so I won't speak too much. But when you have to deal with people that are different on this side of the pond, it's not that Cape Town's not a beautiful town. It's people from all over the world go there. It's multiple languages. This is kind of like Berlin. I lived in Berlin and worked in there for like a year and a half or whatever. And it was interesting. And most different languages smoke anywhere in the world. It's in Berlin, not necessarily Western Berlin, but more like Eastern Berlin. And I remember when the wall came down. Reagan was my chief of commander after he replaced Carter. So I had to, when I signed up in '79, because I'm almost 60 now. Yeah, that's what you do. It happens to you. If you walk that walk, the life happens like that.
Yeah.
But I hope your documentary, I don't know what the subject matter is on your documentary. Whatever you would like to dial into, I'm way cool with that. You know, I don't know. It's crazy I sit here in this world. Everything true. I hope you dial it in. You know, like I said, I'm not. I see people around here that I see and I know. I tell people don't come up to me if I know you. No, you're fine because I don't know you. The other people that I know, I don't really know them, but the association, I know their habits and behavior. I can't be around those people. That's the reason why. Because,
Boundaries.
well, boundaries one thing, but I'm gonna show you something. Insurance is being intelligent, not scared, but intelligent. And this is what I say about this. You get this picture off and look at this other one. How did it disappear? Yeah. Then when I moved out of my house, these are the 14 pictures I showed my landlord last Monday when I turned the keys in. I said I didn't buy into this. After December, there was a squirrel in the mating time series, and click. I finally got him to come down my balcony there and feed him cheese. Because if you control your breathing, you humble yourself. I dial it in with animals more so than humans. It just seems that way. Because when I served, I went to Libya for 22 months, and I was a pilot. Isn't it crazy?
You were a pilot?
Yeah. Well, when I went to school in Boston, even though I'm South Carolina, in 6th grade, I learned English about 9 or 10 years old because I never left the island that I grew up on. Sorry, my parents said, okay, we're gonna put you not working too well in this school down here. We got a school called Stella Maris in Quincy, Mass. If you look at my Facebook, you'll see, William Reed. And my daughter's on there too with her little pit boy on the couch. And that's Buster. She's a little cool pit bull. I was scared of her at first because I've been chewed up. I got about 30 stitches, pit bull attack. Not so true. So, I was educated in Massachusetts. In the school I went to, you do two things before you graduate. You get your pilot's license and you go ROTC. It's going to be the Citadel, some other kind of college. I went to basic training, had my pilot's license in 120 hours down in Foxborough, where the Patriots station, but I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm a Saints fan. I'm a South Saints fan. But I got my pilot's license as I graduated the high school, so when I enlisted in the military, they brought me into the E3, the basic training for Leonardwood, is this your boy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very clean cut young man.
My husband went to Fort Leonard Wood for basic.
Did you went to Fort Leonard? Huh? Yeah, I did too. Yeah, catch the bus from St. Louis and I did it there. Yeah, and I went to 12-week there infantry instead of your 8-week, and about 7 weeks into about 6 weeks into my basic training, things were going super good, and my OC's like, hey, have you thought about OCS? Because we looked on your enrollment thing and noticed you have a pilot's license. That's why they gave you E3 instead of E1 when you rolled in there. And I said, maybe. I said, is there a test I take? I took the test. Oh my gosh, it was like crazy. So I went to Snoot Air Force Base and trained with Snooks and Hueys. Became a warrant officer about a year and a half down in the Citadel, back to my hometown in Charleston, and then dialed it in. So when I thought Fort Polk was going to be cool and everything, but I got some papers and formation, and then they sent me back to Charleston Air Force Base to catch a MAC flight over to Germany and then down to Libya, and I just got 22 months over there. It's crazy, yep.
22 months straight.
Yeah, I was waiting for my family, yeah. It's okay. I mean, I got to not video here, but we chatted over. I think it was like the frequency, wavelength, whatever it was. I only got to do it like 2 or 3 times, right, constantly. I come from a small family, just me and my sister, but I have a lot of kids. I married 3 times, 10 daughters, a son, and I found out last week one of my daughters is going to have a boy, so I'm going to have a grandson soon. Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
How does that feel?
Awesome. Because on the 15th, my last granddaughter was born in Atlanta. My daughter moved to Atlanta, and I'd never seen video birth on the phone, and I was at the dog food plant on the 15th, and he was blowing my phone. Hey, I got production. I need to walk this through. We got to have this done. But then my daughter had to go a couple of days because her blood pressure was up, that kind of thing. And towards in labor, and we were close. And my son-in-law was like, Dad, she's gonna birth. Watch this here, right? I said, you better call, make sure everything, do the things you're supposed to do. He's a good kid. He works in paper mills, so he's a good kid. So I've got to get him son. And I watched, I said, oh my gosh, my child is bringing life into the world. I remember bringing her into the world. It's crazy. Life is good. Life is good.
Life is good.
You just don't even know that you come to the end of it. You think his whole wall's going to be broke down. Don't even think it can. What's your name, my CW?
Yeah, I'm Tyler.
Tyler, good to meet you, Tyler. William Reed's my name. Nobody knows me as William Reed. Even my bosses, a lot of times, when I went to the BDO for Nutrapharmaceutical, it's like, it was like a week and a half or so I was there. They'd have this above beyond kind of thing when you go past your duties. So I was mixing up creatine that night, And it's really interesting because, you know, your small creatine powders and everything, they do it by kilos. But if you don't have the mago, the mago acid base and all these things dial in, because you only use with that much kilo, you use a moderate amount of water, you have a chemical reaction. So I read a lot of this stuff when they hired me. I just about it, you know, it is red. And I said, okay, I can dial this in. I can give something to these people because everybody who were hiring at night were going to sleep on a job, no production being made. So that's the reason why it killed them. But like I said, history comes on the back all the time for you. And but I got a blessing. I said when Richard gets back from Oklahoma visiting his family, he told me when I went and picked my tools up, because I worked for this man for 2 days, and I said, I got tools I can, you know, give you more than what I'm giving you now. You know what I'm saying? It's frustrating me because this tool right here, I was having to use a screwdriver to take, you know, we're doing facial boards, you know, and that kind of, you know, facial metals. So I got to take, and the guy that was working with me that did the job at the same time, I let him use my tools yesterday. And he's Spanish, he didn't understand. I have appointments I need to make throughout the week. But I locked out all my appointments to work the complete weekend with him yesterday. And that guy used my tools in the morning, and I showed him how to use them. He didn't pull the staples out, he put the stuff up. When I got there, oh my gosh, what we're gonna do? This is not acceptable because you have a soffit board that he's gonna put underneath there. The breeze and the facials are like this here because the board he went to still has the tax in it. So it's, and I told him I can't put my name down that kind of work. It has to come back off. And that's when he came back and said, you know, work it. I can't explain to him. Get out of here. And he thought I was saying, where's my drill? I said, I have nothing to use, sir. I was putting the stuff back into his, you know, box and everything, the screws that we were using, 5/8. So, I mean, it's just a communication barrier, but you know, and I'm not gonna say he lost a good person, but he dialed in some wallpaper stuff that I'm pretty good at, interior, exterior, those kind of things. There's things I've learned over the years, but I don't do anything shoddy. I don't, if I'm gonna put my name on it, it has to be done right. And a lot of these too, you have code, also different codes. And I'll tell you how it worked. That was for framing down there.
Oh, nice.
That was for framing down there. See, that's why I swing this hammer. Yeah, I only got hired for that guy, Miko, through the junior. Said, hey, this dude, he's old, but he'll want them casts up on the top that you fly them trusses and hit nobody to toenail the trusses in the right way. So I got a space square, which is a Swanson. If you have somebody you're framing, then my tape in there is a Milwaukee. Milwaukee has increments of 38 and 7/8. If you're framing, you gotta have those things locked in. You don't want to have a second guess, but you saw cuts. And I took guys out there, they're not cutting with it like this here, they're looking for places to cut. So you know you've done carpentry work before. When you do outside construction, there's a lot of different things than just working in a shop. You have to have it done in a mind, timely manner, that kind of thing. So the way I look at it is my parole officer, he said, I'm going to call you, put you back in prison. And I just walked away. I took a picture of his license plate, and I took a picture of him, because if he doesn't pay me, I go to the Wage and Hour Board, just locked it in. I got his telephone, and he went by. His wife's a very lovely lady. She trying to translate. I'm hoping the best. I kind of think the Spanish brothers at 3 o'clock, I'm going to the 33rd over here and listen to the word. That's what I do, being Jehovah's Witness. We usually meet on Saturdays, but I call them. I said, I don't think I'm gonna make it work. But then I got on the front runner and I said, I'm coming here, but they got they're cutting wood. Climbing trees over there. I did a little bit last week when we had our meeting. But I like to catch the religious meetings, you know what I'm saying? Because people don't understand, they become comfortable with life, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, that boy is a clean cut looking boy. That's a good kid you got there, man. Good kid, that's right. And my boy's a mess now. He showed up in my driveway. I hadn't seen him in 14 years, never wrote me nothing, and it hurt. Because I hope I instilled better values when he was a little younger than that, before I got into that mix of stupidness. I don't want to take up you folks' time too much more. I didn't feel like please don't think that this situation's, and I know it's not entertaining. I don't know if it's a blessing. At 3 o'clock, I'm gonna go over here, be with my brother's here. We're gonna preach the word for about an hour or so. I don't go until 9 o'clock. I had spent 6 days to get in. I got the Cobra tests, but they wanted their own Cobra test, such as sheriff's. I had to wait a couple of days to get it scheduled. They're scheduled to do my laundry Monday. When I get off work, now I guess I can do it today. But you know, they have the ability to help you. They feed you in lunches and stuff like that. And I'm not broke. 20th Street's my credit union. Zane, credit union number 20th Street. I dial it in. You know, and that's why, you know, because my taxes coming back. So Richard, when he comes back, there's 4 units in his condo that are felon friendly. So he said he'll dial me in. And he's coming. I figured he just had him in his, you know, condo and everything, because we video chat before. But he stays in his room, and I never saw. But right down the hallway is a nice closet. He had my Corels, my glasses. He took them out of the way, him and his lady friend that he works with, the BDO. He took it all and stacked it in there. My glass top tape was put apart. Because I bought most of my stuff at Ross, and you know, I like nice things. I'm just, I don't know, lazy, but yeah, you know, bank card. I stack my racks. I got to get back into a home again. Hopefully, I'll be blessed. But these difficulties we will go through, and He will help us go through. You know what I'm saying? He will. Don't think He won't. You know, He will. So it is what it is. Hey, what's your name? What's your name? Wyatt. I'm CW. What grade you in? What grade are you in? 6. There you go. Boom. Yep. Nice young man. You got good parents. I should. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. I used to do this is when I was your age, and it's the time of the year the flowers come out. Your daddy works hard for the food. Give your mama a flower, tell you love her because she cooks the groceries, and always do the dishes for her. Always do the dishes. Don't ever complain of the dishes. Always give a flower to your mama and tell you love her because she does everything for you. Dad works hard to bring the groceries, but she does. She maintains the home and does the food for you. So always do the dishes and give her a pretty flower. How about that? Boom. That's all it works. I try to say that to the young men these days, and because I lost my mom at 13. I was embarrassed. They wouldn't give me no yard time. And he showed up. Sergeant Fleiker did. I just got a thing in the yard and used temporary post up. Things happen. That was before I educated. I had hair down my waist, cut it all off. And you want to see a picture of me or something else? This is what I did before I applied myself to getting a job. So this is the dude here. Right there. Even for this gentleman, too, the Spanish gentleman, that's when I had longer hair.
That's you.
Yeah, it's me. I get my ring into my boat. They call it boat. It's in there. I take it out so it don't offend people. Mine not been pierced since '84 when I got an army. Yeah, right, a boat. Yeah. They did it with a punch. Punch it. Yeah. It's part of the Islander thing back home.
So you've been through.
You know, it seems like I've got a counselor, Miss Madeline. She's a sweetheart. She's the one that, you know, she's down in the lake, but she only comes up here. And the thing about it is, I have to go to this Alpha over here, and through prison we have sex offenders. You know what I'm saying? I have to go over there and sit because be around them, and I don't know. I've got kids. I mean, it just disturbs me, you know what I'm saying? I just, you know, and I checked them for a while when I first got to prison because I was kind of a knucklehead, made pay rent and everything. I found out that's not going to work. So I just let them do what they do, you know, not in prison, you know, out here. It would be, I got like 2 lady friends on it, especially Pineapple. Everything I'm putting is everything. Man, ever it is, puts in, I don't. I've never touched a woman like that. My parents, I see ladies not being treated good, you know. So I just let it be out there that, you know, don't let somebody put their hands on you, because if they do, and you're not the consequences of it, you're not the one that even in any aspect, still, man should put a hand on a woman. Period. Walk away. Just walk away, get some time out, and if you need a mediator, get your minister of a good mediator. He been through the things, you know what I'm saying? He been through the same things. So, yeah.
CW, I have one question for
Yes,
you.
ma'am. The $50 million question.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. If my man is Horrible. Yes, ma'am.
Are you happy?
Yes, I am. Even, why shouldn't I be? I'm blessed. I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed. Yeah, I'm blessed. Health. I just got through finishing, what do you call it, muscle milk. I had a what do you call it, membership to the Visited on 12, you know, and I don't know, I left it for a while, put some weight, but I thought about running because up in the canyon there, they got a nice, and I like to run. I usually catch like under a 7 minute, between the 6:45 or 6:40 into a 7 minute, you know, control my breathing. I'll catch about 8 miles and I'll slow it down to about a 7:5 or a 7:10, do about 6 or 7. I'll show you something.
Running makes you happy?
Would you like to see one thing that I can do for you, but it might close out your documentary?
Well, I have one more question.
And I'm gonna show you something that I do. That I did it in my counselor's office.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm so sorry I did that because if they put you on medical, that's when I came from Nico down there, and I was framing all them trusses, and she's like, "You seem a little hyper today." I said, "Well, I just got off, and I'm still thinking measurements here, thinking that's where my brain works." So I did a handstand off of her chair, arms of her chair.
I do want to see that.
I will give you a handstand here in a
So,
minute.
my other question is,
Yes, ma'am.
what advice would you have for someone else struggling with happiness?
Struggling for happiness, always know it's achievable. And if somebody doesn't perceive that, you have to put it in a different context or something. A hug really works. I'm a hugging dude. I am my counselor is like, she kind of said something different to one of my parole officers before I had left the halfway house, you know. And I guess she thought it was just some kind of what was going on in my brain or something that day. I just have like not a bipolar situation, but it seemed like I was having the best days. So she said, I think about tearful. You know, I got choky Moni in her office, and I was like, what can I do to trust you? I walked in there, I said, hey, look at here, because I put my feet up on the desk. So I kick it back because when I went there, there's trees outside that had no lease on. And I said, the office that you use here, is this office, office space you're gonna use in this building every time? Pretty much, yeah, we got it leased out from the company down in Salt Lake, leases up here to deal with you high-risk parolees kind of thing. The ones that had super violent crimes before. I says, Coach, what do you mean? I says, see them trees out there? I said, they got no lease on them. I said, let's see when they got a lease. I said, went right that whole time and didn't see a tree no higher than a bush. I said, thing about a tree is that I ask for so little. I put them on the earth and they're just going straight up. They go through seasonal things. One thing that really damages trees is hurricanes and those kind of things, but they grow back. So trees are an incredible thing. I just, you know, when I see somebody cutting a tree down for a non-particular purposeful reason, you know, for like, I don't buy anything that has to do, like, don't buy Oreo cookies, okay? You know why? Because apes and gorillas, they're denied the trees that they grew up in and everything in the forest in Thailand. That rubber trees that they drain, they log out of there, they just deteriorate, and Brazil's the same way they deteriorate in the forest and everything. And I mean, I'm not super eco, but man, you're just doing that for all these people, officers are getting money. The people out there driving the truck and doing the cutting, they didn't make no money. You know, just slavery kind of thing. So, you know, be aware of your environment. Happiness, yeah. Happiness comes in this camera, and nice people with good family. Happiness comes when you dial in family, and you can always give a hug to somebody and know that at the end of the situation, I said walls could never hold people down. Don't ever think about that. And they worry about me, I could be suicidal. You go crazy. I says, how am I gonna have paradise earth being a witness if I suicide myself? That's not cool. They had anointings today, but 6,000-7,000 anointing left. The rest of them are the old ancient, so I'm good. Just live this life, be nice to people, and it pays off. makes you happy. Being nice to people, that makes you happy.
Yeah.
That makes you happy.
So is that what you would say your
Yeah.
message to the world is?
Yeah,
Is to be
yeah.
nice?
Be nice, yeah, because people, remember we first sat down the conversation here and momentarily after, because my memory is very keen. I'm not like lost or faded out or anything like that, because like I said, substance does that kind of thing to you. And I encourage these guys, ones that I see that have, have the ability to bring themselves out of the trenches. So look here, man, put me on speed. You got a phone? Yeah, put me on speed dial. I'm the dude that at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, if I'm sleeping somewhere, you call me up. I'm gonna set the phone back down and go to sleep. I'm gonna get where I can and get to you. Make sure you're cool. Make sure you don't indulge in that garbage and eat your body up. Nasty to you. You're good. And then plus, ain't a woman want a weak man. That's right. Stay strong, bro. Armor strong, bro. Brother, I'm strong. You served. I appreciate your service, man. Appreciate your service.
You as well. I wasn't
Thank you.
flying.
Yeah,
We
what
had
was
to
your
call
MOS?
20 birds. I was medic.
Yeah, well, I did a lot of medical training too. Yeah, sutures, all that kind of stuff. I could dilate it. Yeah, when I was in prison, people would come to me with our population. Things happen in the yard, it won't get documented. Go max all that. Just come up my house, stitch you up. And that's it, because I know cosmetic as well as staying stitched. I have one wire in the end, and tighten it up. You see nothing.
So you're the helper.
Huh?
You're the helper, it seems like.
I'm just a person that likes to do for people, that's all. It's like to do for people. Because you know something, at the end of the day, I think a guy the other day, at this halfway house, I went, personally, I had already ate. I went through there because he said, man, I heard when I was walking up, man, it's enough food. It's not, and they were having good, what was it, I know it in my language, but it's when you put the meat and a loaf.
Meatloaf.
Yeah, meatloaf. Yeah, Corolla is meatloaf, but I do it with fish.
Oh, wow.
Fish meatloaf. I'm saying, put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. So, yeah, that's why they call me the dossier. I cook different than everybody. That's why I say peanut oil is much healthier than canola oil. It cooks at 205 degrees. Your corn oil won't be 195 degrees. And when I cook, I clean as I cook. That was when you sit down, you got all the dishes. That was salt word. I don't mean to preach to your boy, not preach to your boy, not at all. But yeah, he's the dude. He out there in the environment, he's kicking it. I let him do what he do. That's why I let my son do. But always stay in contact with him. I always be there for him. Take him fishing, all those kind of things with him. You know what I'm saying? I do outdoor stuff. I got another hat like this. It says Winchester, but I can't no pole. But it is what it is. I'm happy. I'm happy. Life is good. It is good. Yeah.
I want to see your handstand.
Okay. Yeah. I'm dialing it in for you.
I can't do one.
I can't do a handstand.
Those my blinkers. When I come out in the yard, they didn't give me no dark shades, and I got white eyes. I had cataract. That's how I got to come up. The light got me in August, and my eyes turned white. So I had to come up to the Morrell Center and there and get my lenses put in my eyes. Thank you.
Check that out. That's awesome. CW, that is awesome. Hey, thank you so
Zero
much.
contact. I don't know if you want to.
Oh.
59?
59, yeah. Friday.
No, we believe you. We believe you.
1962, March 8th. Yeah, I remember. That's all I can do right there.
You're doing
Don't
good,
have
man.
nightmares on that face. But I appreciate you.
Thanks for chatting. It's good to see you, man. Olivier's doing okay or not?
Yeah, actually the best one would be to go over here. But you know something I said? There's guys, the older guys that's here around here to go there. They got so many beds there. I can live out there, eat grass, because they'll tell you, what we know is all you need is a flintlock, a knife, you can survive anywhere.
Yeah, it's true.
That's all you need, yeah. So I just said, they offered to send me to vets here when I went to job first services and dialed in my resume and everything. Because FedEx, I was hoping FedEx would pick me up, because my driving record, CDL record, in fact, I just don't do stupid things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Y'all have a wonderful day.
You
Okay.
too.
It's
Thank
good
you
meeting you. Is this
so
your
much.
boy, older boy?
Yeah.
This is Josh.
This is Josh.
Two boys. Hey, bud. How you doing, man? Hey, Josh.
15.
15. Yeah. Where you going to college at, bud?
I'm gonna try and go to Weber State.
Maybe say, yeah, that's where Pineapple goes. She does 3. That's the Weber State logo on my Adidas.
That's great.
When you're in the UK, it's Adidas. It's not Adidas. You want to say Adidas, go Adidas.
Yeah.
And when you're like East London or London, you take the tube, you know, tube. That's just their transit system.
That's so cool.
Yeah, what you say? Huh? Yeah, it goes up.
Underneath.
Yeah, it goes underneath. It's called a tube because it's back from years ago, but it's kind of different than any of our train system here. But then in Cape Town, where I was at there on the platform, that's a high-speed rail. And it runs from Port Elizabeth all the way to Johannesburg. Yeah, so it's just different. Y'all be good.
I'm so glad that we stopped.
Yeah.
Any final
yeah.
words?
Yeah, I'm gonna do what I do because I'm not clipped up with it anymore. I'm gonna go peace. Like this is not this is peace and thumbs up. That's what I do when I see
Love
people.
it.
I just say thumbs up.
Love
Y'all be
it.
good, man.
Thank you
Have
so
one.
much,
Nice to meet you.
CW.
Leadership, good talking to
Wish you the best.